Hi and welcome back. This is our new character. This time his race is Wood Elf. So what are the Wood Elf traits in AZT? Wood Elves have a lot of little traits that adds up and let you create a fairly versatile character. The most prominent trait is the fact that they can hit their humanoid opponents and get some of their attributes. How that's work? Every humanoid opponent you kill, you have the chance to get their race-specific meal, and every race-specific meal gives you a specific characteristic of the race you killed. Like if you hit an horde, you get frost resistance. If you kill a red guard, you gain some attack speed. If you kill an altmer, you gain magica and magica regeneration, and so on. This is a pretty cool feature that is nicely implemented and gives you a lot of build diversity, a lot of power-up diversity. In the early game, you won't have many choices, but later in the game you'll get better chances to find things. Bosmer have 15% shock resistance. I was told that is justified in the lore because they do training in Wallenwood, is that how it's called, to avoid shock spells. Well, that's it. Wood Elves is still a strong stomach race, so you can still have your bestial stew. Wood Elves gets native 10% armor penetration with all weapons. Wood Elves get native zoom with a bow without the relevant perk. They consume slightly more stamina than normal to do that, but they have that natively. Wood Elves get bonuses for any kind of armor clothes they wear. If they wear clothes, they gain some armor rating. If they wear light armor, they get more arrow resistance, 3% more for a piece of light armor. And if they wear heavy armor, they get a 2% spell cost discount for piece of heavy armor weared, which is pretty nice if you mean to do an heavy armor character with spell, which I'm doing. They get 40% disease resistance. They get 15% stamina cost penalty on power attacks. And as last things, I think, they get, if they cast spell in sneaking while they have full stamina, their spell costs 15% less, which work somehow in help you dual cast buffs earlier and also normal spells. So that were all the traits of the Wood Elf. Let's talk about the stone. I'm using Shadow Stone. Where it is? Shadow Stone. Shadow Stone in AZT is completely reworked from respect to normal Requiem, and it gives you increased damage while you are in the shadows, and reduces spell cost while you are in the shadow, respectively. There are 4 steps. 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% for weapon damage, and 10%, 20%, 30%, and 40% for spell cost reduction. As you can see here, in the sun I do 75, in the shadow I do 71. I think that you need to have a light mode, like realistic lighting overall or LX, to properly benefit from this. Also, Shadowstone gives you a minor power, which is Stone of the Shadow power, which turns you invisible for 10 seconds and can be cast every 3 seconds for the magical cost listed there. The magical cost is influenced by the armor you wear, is influenced by spell cost reduction. For example, if I'm in the shadow, the cost is now reduced to 95. If I'm crouching with full stamina, the cost is further reduced. The possibility to have invisibility at will, if you have a proper magical regeneration, can seem too powerful. It's very strong, but you have to understand that in AZT tweaks, doing a stealth character is not as easy, because opponents have way more health, so one-shotting them is way harder. So all in all, the bonus is not that strong. I mean, you could make it unbalanced, I guess, with a dedicated build, but for normal use is fine. With this character, we'll use it later on, because right now it costs too much to have the bonus on, to use it actively. But we'll get to it. My blessing is the Nocturnal Blessing. In AZT tweaks, the Nocturnal Blessing gives you a bonus to sneak during night time. I believe is plus 35, plus 35 compared to the Thief Stone 25 or something like that. Anyway, it's a pretty good bonus. Gives you protection, frost resistance for lock speaked, and gives you magical regeneration for stolen object. Flat stamina regeneration is 0.5 for every 500 objects stolen, and caps at 2 magica per second at 2000 objects stolen. Honestly, doing that number of objects stolen require a pretty long dedicated thief playthrough, so I'll probably console myself the numbers required as I level up. I think that something like every 7 level would be honest, because I could still like there was no tomorrow to get the bonuses, but that would be unfair. So, the build. Right now, I have the first perk of Restoration, the first perk of 100, and the first perk of 100, and the first perk of Heavy Armor. How this build would want to work? I would like to use Sneak. But I can't benefit from Sneak perk bonuses, at least the one that gives you bonus to sneaking, because I'm in full heavy armor. But I'm in full heavy armor, so I can't benefit from them. But I'm a Bosmer. Being a Bosmer gives me skill affinity with Sneak, so I don't have the penalties, even if I don't have the first perk. This, combined with the fact that I will take illusion and I will be able to maintain muffle, and the fact that with the Shadowstone I can have invisibility on demand as soon as I get the required magica regeneration and magica proper value, which won't be that easy. but we will get there. With all these things and the nocturnal bonus at night, with all these things, you can actually sneak in heavy armor. Also, well, the ebony mail would be nice, but I don't think that nocturnal let you take the ebony mail. If you want, in the it's called in AZT Radar Worship mod, you can worship Boetia or Mephala, and well, you'll get some nice bonuses and the possibility to use the ebony mail, which would work wonder for this build. But let's talk about illusion. I've never talked about illusion in this video before. How illusion is changed in AZ2X. The perks are still the same, but there has been a lot of... where is this illusion? Okay, here. There has been a wider balance of illusion coming through lots of factors. First factor, the novice spell costs less and the dark vision have decreased upkeep, so it's easier to cast illusion spell in the beginning. Also, the illusion spell like Fear Orb, Raging Orb and so on get experience for having hit just for having hit the opponent. Before they would give you experience only if they stayed on the opponent, making the leveling of illusion in the early level in the early levels a pain, since you pretty much had to find a way to have blur constantly active and to just go around with it to get to level 40 of illusion to have some actual spells. In AZ2X I can testify that using fear spells and dark vision to carry on in the first level and get some level up in illusion is perfectly viable. So that's a plus for this kind of builds and for illusion. Another thing to be noted about illusion is that there has been some tension put on the upkeeps. Now you get your spell cost, everything that reduces your spell cost, nearly everything that reduces your spell cost has an effect on your upkeep. For example, racial bonuses, like the Orc who have all spell with reduced cost, also have reduced upkeep. Altmer who have reduced spell cost, also have reduced upkeep. And if you have every illusion cost reduction enchantment, will reduce a quarter of the upkeep. Now you can see the upkeep, how do you say? Now when you cast an illusion spell, you can see 4 sources of upkeep. I'll just use the console and then load a save to show you the point. Give me a moment to get the perk. Okay, now I have it. as you can see, I have Dark Vision as a spell. Let me take out my armor. So now I cast Dark Vision. Oh wow, which is I never seen if it works actually in this with all this graphical mode, but that's irrelevant. As you can see, I have a Dark Vision effect, a 4 Dark Vision Magica Drain effect. If I have an illusion cost reduction enchantment, I take out one of these, so it would be only 3 of them. Every effect is a quarter of the main effect, of course, of the total upkeep, of course. If I have the relevant perk, like in this case Visual Manipulation, I will take out another of these entries. If I have a potion with the effect, as long as I have with the illusion cost reduction effect, I'll have another of these taken out. The last can never be taken out, of course. Also, for every 5 points of illusion cost reduction, you get 4% reduced upkeep. So if I have the Master Robes, I'll get 16% reduced upkeep, and I take out one of these 4 effect. And that's about it. Another change is that now Blur is well, basically without the perk is irrelevant. I mean, it doesn't protect you much. And with the perk, it doesn't have a spread. It's blocked like 80 or 90 point from arrow damage, and like another mechanic interesting to know about illusion in general is that when you are invisible, you take 20% less damage from weapons and from spells that are have the bolt keyword or dodgeable spell keyword. Basically, it's said by AZT tweaks. All the, for instance, Firebolt, Ice Spike, and Electric Lightning Shock is called, I don't remember, are marked as dodgeable spell. So you receive less damage from them when you are invisible. Also, Blur will reduce a little bit of the, like 10 damage from these spells marked as such, for the spell marked as such. Another effect of invisibility is that if you are invisible, as you can see, it's growing, illusion is growing pretty nicely with just Dark Vision on. It should give you more exp when you are in the dark, but I'm not 100% sure. So, I was saying, you also get 20% increased damage when you are invisible, but only if you are in combat. Just do not give an additional bonus when you are sneaking. That was made in order to inspire builds which use the illusion from this illusion power during combat to take less damage, but that never really worked for some problems. Mainly the fact that is not that efficient to do, but you can always try that, since using illusion in combat made opponents quickly lose track of you. So if you came up with a build that works, you're welcome to try it. And that was all about the character, build, and mechanic exposition. Let's find something to kill, but before let me load the previous save, since I don't actually have the perk to use illusion. Okay, should be okay, perfect. Right now, if you're wondering where I am in the reach. Oh, okay, I have to take water, and here there is a complex choice between stamina stew and stamina food and health food, because I have 115 health, which is very low. But I'm also in heavy armor, so it's not like my stamina is overflowing. I think that for now I'll use an health stew, since I won't be trying to fight actual opponents. I mean, wolves and things like that are fine. All other things are basically out of my reach, since, well, nice. Are basically out of my reach, since right now the character isn't strong enough. Maybe I can do one bandit, but that would be about it. One nice thing about being a bossmer is that you are natively, you can be natively a sneak archer, because you have like marksmanship skill from the start, and you have affinity with sneak. So you are actually able to, you would be actually able to sneak early on. Of course, that would work better in light armor, not in heavy. But we'll see what we can do. Okay, that's a beer. Beer are not in my league for now. Why I'm losing so much? Sorry, but okay, I choose the health meal. Okay. No, everything makes sense. Going for the first level without a stamina meal when you are in heavy armor is pretty damn difficult, but well, we'll try to manage. At least the bossmer start with 120 stamina, so it's not that bad. Once I tried this build with an Altmer, it was a nightmare, because Altmer start with 85 stamina. You basically had to be under potion for the duration of every kind of fight you'll ever make. Oh, by the way, I recently bought a new monitor, and this this landscape is just gorgeous. I mean, wow. Who would imagine that Skyrim can get so good when with the right amount of mods? Wow, they really have low health. Okay, wolves. Our first real opponent, and that's say much about our strength. I want to open the fight with an arrow, since that would be worse. I mean, I will consume too much stamina. I'll just attack them from behind the ward. Or not. Okay, it was only one. That's much better. I need... oh, of course the everlasting problem of the bossmer is the low carry weight. You start with 95, which is abysmally low, especially since one of your racial skill is to gather meat from others, how do you say, from others from other humanoid races and have that in inventory. Oh wow, I can see the wolf down there. That's amazing. Wow. How that even work? Okay, what the fuck? Oh, I won't attack those crabs, because they will probably kill me, since I have in heavy armor. If you don't believe it, just try. I'll assure you that you will end up badly. I could try an arrow from here, but no, it's too risky, I think. And I've seen that I can kill them pretty easily. I'd like to remember that doing this kind of attack gives you increased damage, but right now it's probably easier to just attack. I'm collecting raw meat for the bestial stew, which I will start to use at some point in the future. Cause well, I think that at a certain point the 0.75 stamina regeneration from the stew would be pretty nice to have. Well, oh, cool, near nuts. With a surprise mud crab. Cool. I should be able to kill this one. This one should be weak. Okay. I can kite him for days. He doesn't have the insane range granted to the other ones. As a note, probably taking Mara Healing Mantra would have been better. I took where it is, Healing Aura, that I won't be able to spam because I'm in heavy armor. Healing Mantra could have been casted in heavy armor and gave you some use for your Magicka bar in the beginning. This is tanking, face tanking Mudcrab with ward is a nice way to level up in the beginning, if you are inclined to do that. I mean, what? I find it lame, but oh. I mean, I find it pretty lame, but if you start in heavy armor with this sort of builds, without even a stone or a blessing that benefits you, probably at the very beginning you'll have to grind a bit. But that's because I choose a combination that's... I chose a combination that will shine only later, very much later in the playthrough, so that's how it works. I'll probably take out the armor to cast Healing Aura at least once. So. I leveled up. Of course, the first levels will be in health, because what else would you want to do? Next perk, I really don't know, since I'll probably wait for heavy armor. I mean, for the level 15 of heavy armor and so on, since I need this to actually fight, this to actually run, and this to actually cast. So I then don't actually need other perks. The first marksmanship is not really needed. I have a bow for the early level, for the early levels, and that would be about it. I could take up lockpicking for a better. No, that's pickpocket. Lockpicking for increasing the frost resistance of Nocturnal, but I'll think about it later. Speech is always an evergreen. I'll have to think about it. Also, I'll take Alteration and Illusion as schools, so I'll also have to think about that. Starting a caster build in heavy armor sort of sucks, of course, since I can't just take the perk and level up the skill at the beginning. I'll have to wait to be actually able to cast something. What? Okay, now what killed the goat? These are the signs that you have to pay attention to, that could reveal a bear or a saber cat around your place. A Falmer dungeon. I don't think I've ever made this particular dungeon. Since I don't usually travel too much in the Reach, since, well, there are the Forsworn, which you can fight with a certainty only a bit later. With heavy armor, you can kind of attack them earlier, but you still need to have your build sorted out. You'll probably need level 5, some money, and some decent equipment. Oh wow. There should be some wolves or some sort of animal in here, if I remember well. I could take Alteration just to spam Detect Life. That would be a nice way to level up Alteration a bit. Okay. No, I'm not coming there. Well, as build showcase goes, I think that this has been enough. I would like to show you a proper combat, but I believe that I'll just die at this stage. So I'll see you with the next character. Bye. Spar and having holy code to answer.